Hi guys, thank you for joining me. Well, just when you thought things were settling down, the island of La Palma, Cumbre Vieja volcano, is still very active. Yesterday there was a magnitude 1.5 earthquake, a depth of 12 kilometers, that's down there in the magma chamber, and then 3 on the 10th, the largest being a magnitude 2.5. That one was 32 kilometers in depth, showing that the magma is still rising. Another indication was a Twitter post shared by Invocan that talks about the toxic gases that are still rising, that are so high, they would probably kill you instantly. 2 areas. You can play the Twitter post. If I played it for you, I'd probably get cited by YouTube for copyright. But if you play the video, you can actually see the distortions of the air as the gases come up. 2 areas, La Bambilla and Preto Neos. So going to Google Earth, here is Preto Neos and Lambilla over here. These are the 2 areas where the high values of carbon dioxide were coming up. Here's an image of one of the scientists from Invocan taking gas readings in a building there in Pretos Neos. You notice he's wearing a gas mask. Another Twitter post from Labia showing that these gases are very, very toxic, off the scale. The translation says lethal in a short time. I found another page where they were testing the different gases, and off on the side here, I couldn't get the page to translate. But I'll give you links to all this. Green would be okay. Yellow warning, and red, and purple. They got another alert warning here, but I'm not sure for the locations. So even though it's been 5 months since they claimed that Cumbre Vieja has stopped eruption, there is still lava flowing. Some of the vents in the crater still can be observed, can be seen. They still got lava, red hot lava, and I found a document about this lava. Another Twitter post that was posted just a couple hours ago. Invocan team is today at the crater of Cumbre Vieja eruption, collecting samples and taking data. They're collecting data of the gases. That's what that machine does there, and you can see he's equipped for these highly toxic gases. I think it's just taking a pause. You don't know, or don't realize, many people don't realize how close they were to a collapse of the western flank of Cumbre Vieja, but only by the grace of God, it didn't slide into the sea, and the fractures that were opening up changed direction in November of its eruption. But the magma is still moving under the ground there, under the cone of the volcano. Here is a document that many of the government officials and scientists are disputing. It says, Invocan and IGME doubt the collapse of Cumbre Vieja in the short term and long term. A couple of researchers from both institutions refute an article published in Science that reopened the debate on a possible landslide on the flank of the island. The 2021 eruption burst along a northwest-southwest fissure because of the emplacement of a largely westerly dipping magnetic feeding dike intrusion, revealed by satellite radar interferometry and precise relocated seismicity. Notably, the 2021 eruption fissure occurred along the northwestern continuation of the usual 1949 normal faulting system and at a location of a previous eruptive site with the same orientation. Therefore, the 2021 magnetic pathways must be added to existing evidence for instability from geological structural studies. Deformation. Remember we talked about that? Those that followed me during the La Palma eruptions will remember the deformation, the rising of the ground. Deformation during the inter-eruptive period, detailing gravity and electroresistivity surveys. And the reappearance of erupted oceanic sediment xenous. That is when you got magma that picked up rocks from a previous eruption, and you have the two different rocks mixed in with each other, which indicate the role of a rheologically layered crust. Moreover, the Cumbre Vieja western volcano flank likely seemed to have not reached runaway conditions. But like the blockbuster thriller movie, this Cumbre Vieja eruption left the biggest surprise for its last act. In mid to late November, coinciding with an increase in the number of earthquakes, a complex set of fractures and slumps broke apart the northeastern flank of the 2-month-long active cone developed at the eruptive site. A north-northeast, south-southwest fissure at the summit rapidly grew a large 100-meter high cone in less than 2 days. The faster a volcano grows, the cone grows, the more unstable they are. Almost simultaneously, short-lived vents opened along a roughly east-wind trending direction, downslope, within 2 kilometers of the summit active cone. Over the next week, multiple small vents and echelon fissures appeared at 1 to 3 kilometer distant from the main fissure site and along that late fissure system. And he goes on to say how this temporal relationship will have to be carefully analyzed. The volcano was starting to show areas, the fissures of failure. On December 4th, a well-developed garden opened near the summit of the active cone, and several more eruptive sites opened at the far west end of the late fissure system, feeding a more voluminous lava flow. It started just gushing out. So then he goes into more puzzling aspects about why it did not collapse. A key research question remains as to why this eruption did not create a catastrophic volcanic flank collapse, as perhaps expected. The answer may be tied to its distinct volcanic tectonic features, and in particular, an unexpected fissure system that opened up during the eruption's last phase. And they have an image here. Let me try and make this bigger. Of the main fissure and the late fissures. He also has a brief history of Cumbre Vieja and how it grew quickly. The volcano has rapidly grown, he says, resulting in steep-sided volcano flanks. Scientists know it's going to collapse. It's just a matter of time. They just don't know when. And they're hoping, studying these fissures, the new one that opened up in November might give them some clues. In just 2 days, the cone grew over 330 feet, 100 meters, and opened up a fissure that was east-west trending. Here's an article on the Hindu Times talking about one of the new vents that opened up in September. The new vent is 900 meters, 3,000 feet north of Cumbre Vieja National Park, where the volcano first erupted. It emerged as a magnitude 4.1 earthquake late Monday. Rivers of lava as much as 6 meters high. That would be about 19 feet, rolled down hillsides, burning and crushing everything in their path and affecting nearly 400 farms. Over 300 people there on the island of La Palma are still homeless, still waiting for homes to be provided, and a lot of them, they're still waiting for aid. An article published March 25th, Invocan rolls out magnetic intrusion in the new seismic swarm of the La Palma volcano. This volcano is not done. They are trying to convince the people, and thus bring in the tourism, that the earthquakes were caused by the release of hydrothermal fluids by the cooling of the magnetic reservoir. It is not cooling. Yeah, they're just lying. Here's another article. It says after the eruption in La Palma, the volcano still does not cool down. Even though they have claimed, because there is no, explosions, almost 5 months afterwards, it says there is still magnetic material with temperatures up to 1,000 degrees and high gas emissions in coastal areas such as Lambambia or Preto Neos. Sorry for pronouncing that wrong. Volcanologists from the National Geographic Institute, IGN, published in April on social networks an image of a temperature measurement of magnetic material still incandescent in the crater located to the south of the volcano building, in which the result can be seen 977 degrees Celsius. Because there are huge volume of magnetic material that continues to cool, with the addition that it covers with a layer that acts as a thermal insulator. So he predicts that it will take a long time to lower the temperature. Years. In fact, for the time being, no decrease in magma temperatures have been observed. No decrease in the area of the volcano edifice, despite the fact that 4 months has elapsed since the end of the eruption on La Palma. There are oscillations between 1,050 and 950 degrees in the different measurements that have been made. And it doesn't matter, little governance, by the distance at which they are made. There is no difference in the temperature from the top of the volcano down to where it's still hot, spewing out gases there at the ocean. And then they talk about the other threat, the water vapor and gas emissions. Areas where they have a do not approach dangerous points. All along the coast here, they have do not enter areas because it's not cooling down and the gases are still very toxic. And yet they say that everything is normal, nothing to see. Yeah, a bunch of BS just to bring in the dollars, and yet there's over 300 people still homeless there. So what are your thoughts? Put those comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you wish to support my work, I'm also on Patreon. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.